Hello, and welcome to the Pixel Perspective podcast. I'm Adrian Townsend, along here with my good buddy, JJ.
That's me. I'm the good buddy. I'm not sure if he forgot my name for a second there or what just happened, but
so hey. I never know what to do there. I was going to either pass it off to you and let you introduce yourself or just say it. So whatever.
I do the same thing every time. I feel like we should maybe discuss it beforehand or something. I know when I did TFN, I used to do it on purpose to try and screw with Mark, but it's a little different here. So maybe we should. I don't know. Either way, hi. Good to see you guys. Good to see you.
There you go. I like how we always have the awkward start at the beginning of the show. I don't think that's ever going to change.
And then the rest of the show is just as awkward, typically. So it makes sense. It fits with the theme.
So, let's get us kicked off here, man. We got a big show ahead of us. We're talking about the new PlayStation 5 console that both of us managed to acquire.
Yeah.
And that's been really exciting and fun. But before we do that, JJ, what have you been playing?
PlayStation 5.
Besides the PlayStation 5.
I have been playing PlayStation 4 games on PlayStation 5.
Same.
So, I mean, I assume that there's very few exclusive PS5 games that I can really talk about playing. Obviously, the Astro's Playroom and Demon's Souls are the two main ones. I think I played 30 seconds of Bugsnax. Not that I disliked it or anything like that. I just was you know what? I don't know that I feel like playing this right now. Because I have been seeing amazing reviews for it. People are loving that game. Holy crap, online. It's insane. So I think I do want to try it out at some point. I went into it and I was like, you know what? I'm just not ready for this right now. So it's still installed. It's on there. But
if you can manage to get past extremely annoying characters, sure, go for it. It just, oh man, the characters were so annoying. And I thought it was just one character, and then they introduced the next one who was even more annoying than the previous one, and the next one was even more annoying. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It's more storyline and annoying puppet-looking characters than it is gameplay, and it didn't connect with me.
Interesting. I played Animal Crossing. Those characters are damn annoying. I always I remember playing Animal Crossing and people telling me which villagers are you going to get in your city? And I'm like, I don't know because I don't like any of them. I think they're all really annoying and goofy looking. And I apologize to the Animal Crossing fans out there. I know there are millions of you. Anyway. But other than that, I have been just devoting tons and tons and tons of time to the beautiful mess that is Cyberpunk 2077. And I have also been recording footage of the beautiful mess that is Cyberpunk 2077 for my next review on the channel.
Ooh, interesting.
So, it's I'm not done with it yet, but I have put in about 40 hours into the game so far.
Oh my gosh, dude. I don't know how you've done it.
Glitches, everything and all. You know what? I've had more than anything, because small little bugs, if I see a car that's sinking into the street or somebody floating or something like that, or somebody's missing a head while they're talking to you or something, that really doesn't bother me that much. I'm not a big graphics guy or visuals guy or anything like that. I appreciate it when it's there and it's good looking, but it's not it doesn't hurt the experience for me really as much as it does for a lot of people.
Yeah.
The crashes, on the other hand, I've been playing not with a friend of mine, but alongside a friend of mine who she's been playing on her PS4, and I've been playing obviously the PS4 version on my PS5. And she has I think she told me she was at about 25 to 30 hours somewhere in there, and that was just yesterday.
That's impressive.
She said she has had one crash on the PS4. One. That's it. Like she's
Wow.
had some slowdown, and obviously the loading times are atrocious, and she's had a lot of glitches. But again, she's like me; it doesn't really bother her that much and stuff. And it's nothing she can't play through because she still raves about it and loves it and everything. She really wants to try The Witcher 3 now, just because of She even asked me. She goes, "Is Witcher 3 as buggy as Cyberpunk?" I was like, first of all, it's been out for 5 years, so God, I hope not. But second of all, no, they did had a much better launch with that, as far as I can remember. But I have had on the PS5, I would say, like I said, 40 hours. I would say I've had between maybe 30 crashes.
That's insane.
It crashes a lot. It does.
Wow.
Yeah, it's I was maybe 25 to 30, something there like that. Over 20 for sure. But it's yeah. That's the most annoying part. The good thing is the game autosaves like crazy. So even if you do, like, I think the most time I lost was an hour, and that was only because I was just running around doing absolutely nothing, just kind of like checking out the city. But as soon as you like start a quest or like finish one, or even like sometimes in the middle of quests and do stuff, and you can save manually, there are autosaves left and right. So you really don't lose much progress. It's just the annoying thing of like, it crashing on you and you have to go back in and restart from that last checkpoint and whatnot. But I honestly, it really hasn't like ruined the experience for me. It's still playable. I'll definitely mention that in my review for sure, because and I know that's going to get patched out. I know that's going to get fixed in the future. But as far as reviews go, you can only go off of what you've played. And this is my experience so far. It's just tons of freaking crashes. There was like a 10 gig update that just finished, so hopefully that helps smooth the at the time of recording this. Hopefully that smooths some things out. But honestly, I am loving the game otherwise. The Witcher is still much better in my opinion. There's just, I like the aesthetics more. I like the fantasy medieval setting. But this is like, just, there's so much stuff that's just so out there, and there's just so much to do as far as how you can customize your character and how you can approach different obstacles and stuff like that. It's really fascinating in a lot of ways. The gameplay is super repetitive. It's honestly, in a lot of ways, it's a lot like a Ubisoft game where you're just like doing quests that you see out on the map and going to markers and then doing the objective there, and then you move on to the next one, and that's it. But it's CD Projekt Red writing and the story I really, really like. If you're a big fan of strong female characters, this game has some amazing ones in it. Keanu is in it. Not that he does a bad job, but I was kind of hoping for like dude Keanu, and he is not. He is like just foul mouth, kind of asshole Keanu in this one, which is fine, and he does a good job. But I was kind of hoping for like more like, whoa, dude,
Yeah.
But that's likable. Not there, right? So, but it's you know what, if you can get past the glaring flaws of the performance, which I think that's a minority of people that are able to do so, because it's just it is rough. I won't lie. There really is a lot to like and a lot to appreciate. The running joke right now is, man, I still can't wait for Cyberpunk to come out, because it's just like it's still rough to play. But I have been kind of powering through it. Like I said, 40 hours into it. I have no intention of stopping anytime soon. I am literally just clearing the map. I am enjoying the hell out of it. It's just those annoying crashes are what sucks. And like I said, it's weird that it was happening more to me on the PS5 than it did to my friend who was playing on the PS4. So weird. It's like, I've got the better performance, but she's got the like where she can play for longer without it dying on her. But I've got 4 days off coming up, so I plan to hopefully finish it over this weekend. So, wow. And right, I should probably say, because you're probably listening to this in January, but this is 2 days before Christmas. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve, so of 2020. So yeah,
I got 11 days coming up. I am stoked, man, so stoked.
I only have to work 2 days next week, and then I'm going to Georgia for like 4 or 5 days.
Awesome.
So, next week's going to be, I am not going to get much accomplished at work. I can pretty much tell you that right now. So,
I hear you.
What about you? What you been playing?
Well, a hodgepodge of different things, but honestly, I've been getting a lot of game time in lately, which has been really nice. Um, we could talk about Demon Souls a little bit later, but I've been playing almost primarily Demon Souls. Um,
You finish
with
it yet?
some, yes, dude, finally.
Oh, okay.
I just finished it last week. I got stuck in the area where you fight. Oh man, what is the? It's the old king, I think. The blind guy, the boss, where you have to be
The
quiet when you're fighting him. He's got this bandana over his
Oh
head.
yeah. I had
Um,
two people that helped me with that, and they just destroyed him while I stood there and was like, can I cast now? What? Oh, he's dead. Okay.
I did not have such luck. I had pure black tendency in that level. So what that does is it adds some black phantoms and NPCs to the game. Really hard ones. And you know the skeletons that are in that area, they add more of those, but they're a black phantom basically means that they've got more HP and they hit harder and they're harder to kill. And there's just nowhere to dodge in that level. So it's really hard. And I could not get past these black phantoms. There was three black phantoms stacked on top of each other out on one of the ledges, and I just couldn't get past it. Finally, after a lot of grinding and a lot of trying it over and over and over again, I got past it and made it to the boss and killed the boss in the first time, the um, first try, and I didn't get hit one time when I fought him.
That
So
sounds like the same experience I had with the one I was telling you about when I had all
yeah,
black tendency, and I just had that one red dude, the Phantom, who was the samurai guy with the katana,
yeah,
and
yeah.
he
The
just
the dual
mopped the
katanas.
floor with me. No, he just had
Yep.
one.
Oh, did he? Okay, mine had
Yeah,
two, and he was just yeah. I can get past him,
it was brutal.
but also pure black tendency on the game like that sucks. I think it took me 35 to 40ish hours to beat the game with all the grinding I did, and my character is a level 90 by the time I beat the
Oh
game.
my gosh.
Yeah, dude, I just kept going and going and going. I think, well, maybe if I get higher level, I'll be able to do it easier. And it did help. Maybe that's the reason why I got through it. But
Wow.
yeah, that was painful. But I enjoyed it, and I went back and started playing New Game Plus and enjoying that too. So I love those games. I can't stop playing them. It's just what I crave. Um, Besides that, I did play Cyberpunk, and I am one of the people that you speak of that can't get past the bugs. And honestly, like when I first popped the game in, I wasn't impressed with the graphics at all, and I was expecting something that wasn't being delivered. Um,
Sure.
it's one thing to just go into it and know what to expect, but I was expecting. I'd been watching the trailer. First of all, I haven't been really excited for the game at all. Like cyberpunk as an aesthetic is not something that appeals to me.
Yep.
So the game never really was something that I was really interested in. But then as it got closer to launch and the hype got just really, really big, I started watching more and more trailers and I was like, you know what, this game looks amazing. I think I can get into this. Um, Put it in and started playing it, and the graphics do not look anything like they did on those trailers, and I was disappointed about that. So I couldn't get into it because of that. And then um, I got past the tutorial, and I think I got past the first mission after the tutorial. And I didn't have any crashes, luckily, but I did see a lot of visual glitches that took me out of it. People running into walls, just keep on running through walls. And wow, man, what were some other? I don't remember any of the other ones. Like things floating in the air where they shouldn't be. People when they die, just go clipping through walls and stuff. And I was like, this game is supposed to be really immersive, but these things are taking me out of it. And so I finally just decided I'm going to wait for the PlayStation 5 update to come out, and then I'll jump back into the game. But right now, um, I have a generally negative opinion on it, so I just
Sure.
decided to stop. I almost returned it. I was very close to thinking, man, you know, if I'm going to wait for them to update it, I might as well return it. Everybody's taking it back now. But I thought, no, I'll just wait and check out the update when it comes out, because I do want to play the game. I'm just not feeling it right now.
Understandable.
I've also been playing Yakuza Like a Dragon. That is such an amazing game. I am in love with the storyline in that game. It's just so good. And the characters are incredible. It's and it pays homage to Dragon Quest so heavily. Like, it is very thickly inspired by the Dragon Quest series and JRPGs in general. And that's what I love about it. So you've got this Yakuza setting, you know, like it looks like a traditional Yakuza game, but it plays just like a traditional JRPG, and it's heavily story driven. So it's a game that if you're not prepared to sit and watch a lot of dialogue, there's a mixture of voiced dialogue and scripted dialogue or text only dialogue. Mm-hmm. If you're okay with sitting through a lot of dialogue, then it's awesome. There's some, like, in the prologue of the game, there was so much that happened that was just drew me in, like completely drew me into the storyline and the characters and what was going on. It's like the writing in that game is superb. There's not very many games out there that I think has as good a writing as Yakuza does, especially this one. And it also makes me want to go back and play the other ones too and get through those, because the only other one I've played is 0. But when in terms of how they pay respects to Dragon Quest, besides referencing it all the time, there's sound effects. Like when you gain a party member, it'll play the similar little sound effect that you get in Dragon Quest when you acquire a party member. They've got little sprite characters of your characters in your party on the loading screen. They've got when you go into the menu, you've got your weapons icon and your magic icon and skills and all these different things that are so like JRPG inspired. It's crazy. And the battle system obviously is turn-based, and it works really well. And they make it make sense in the world of Yakuza. Like what's going on, like people, when you go into a battle, they'll change their appearance and look more fantasy-like. And what it is because the main character so loves the Dragon Quest series so much, he kind of visualizes everything as if it were part of that game.
That's actually pretty cool.
It's really cool, man. They make it make sense. And the game is goofy. Like the main storyline is really good and it's really serious, and there's some really major dramatic things that happen. But the side quests are so damn goofy. Like, it's incredible. When you run away from battle, for instance, like your character, he'll arch his back and start running like this. Just incredibly goofy looking run. I don't know. I can't speak highly enough about it. I've been playing the heck out of it as much as I can since I've beaten Dark Souls or Demon Souls. And yeah, I know you want to play through them in chronological order. I would highly recommend that you do this one before you do that. I don't really see any direct correlation between the games with this one. It's a whole new cast of characters. There might be a cameo or something here and there.
Well, it's not. I don't do it necessarily because of the, because I'm afraid of like not understanding something story wise. It's more because I like to see development progression. I like to see how a series evolves from the beginning to where it is today.
This one almost feels like a spinoff more than a direct sequel or something to the other series, even though it's called Yakuza 7 in Japan and they renamed it to Like a Dragon here. So in terms of storytelling and character development and everything like that, it's very much like a Yakuza game. It's just everything else that's not. And the fact that they don't have the same characters from the original series seems kind of odd to me too. You know, you call it a number 7, but it's not a continuation of that story. Sure. Now, it could be wrong, and later on that it has some sort of tie-in, but I haven't seen anything yet.
Okay.
I would almost call it a great starting off point for anybody who's interested in Yakuza in general. But yeah, other than that, that's I've been back and forth on Xenoblade Chronicles on the Switch and playing my favorite puzzle game, which is Picross. That's about it. Going back to my regs.
Cool. All right. I mean, you want to talk some PS5?
I do, actually. And I can get us started with how I acquired mine. Well, not necessarily how I acquired mine, but when I acquired mine. Had a little bit of a story there. I managed to get my pre-order in through Walmart. And when the game came out, or the system came out, there was... I didn't know if I was going to be able to get it. I kept watching the order page constantly, and there was no update, like saying, hey, you can go pick up the system now, because I had it delivered to the store. I wanted to make sure that it was going to be somewhere safe where I can go get it, and I didn't want to bother with it getting lost in mail, so I didn't ship it to my house.
Sure.
Because I've had things not delivered to my house before, especially I live on a numbered street, and there's another number, and I'm on a terrace, and then there's a street with the same number, and their mail gets mixed up all the time. It's annoying.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to mess with that, and I went ahead and opted for store pickup. Well, I went through to the day of release, and still no update. And I reached out to the customer service trying to figure out what was going on, and they didn't have an answer for me. And they said, well, it'll get to you soon enough. I was like, but today's the release day. I want it today. I was like getting pretty frustrated with them. But I know it's out of their hands. It was nothing they can control. Right. I don't get mad at customer service people. I can be frustrated about it. So it wasn't until the next day that they finally updated it with a delivery date, which was going to be the following, I want to say Wednesday, almost a week later after it came out. And yeah, that sucked. So finally I was waiting patiently, and it finally came out, and I went to the store to go pick it up, and I get there, and the guy, you know that have you ever done store pickup at Walmart before?
No.
Have you been in there and seen that huge orange tower that they have right in the front of the store when you get in? It's this pickup area.
I'm sure I have.
It's what it is they put all the packages in this giant tower, and you go in there and you scan the barcode on your phone, and it'll automatically drop it down to you.
Gotcha.
I went in there and did that, and it said that I had to wait for customer service because it was a high ticket item. And dude, I was in there for 30 minutes. And I went to the customer service. I went to anybody and everybody I could ask, and it's like, what's going on? Somebody bring me my damn system. It's supposed to be here. And I think it was like about 40 minutes when I finally walked out of the store with my system.
Oh my gosh.
That sucked. Wow. I mean, it was not a pleasant experience, let's just say. But anyway, I finally got it home, hooked it up, and was pretty blown away. I mean, the UI on the system is new. I like new. I really had a pretty easy time setting up, but I had several crashes that night. And that's kind of like, I don't want to start with negative, but that was my first experience with it. I'm curious, Did you have any problems with it when you hooked yours up?
The only issue that I had was when I tried to do the data transfer, and I knew that it was a risk. I had moved my PS4 up to my room and just hooked it up to one of my old computer monitors, and I just tried to transfer all of my stuff wirelessly, and I was going to leave it on overnight. Yeah. And it errored out in the middle of the night, and nothing got transferred over. So in the morning, I just transferred over just my saves, and that was it. And I figured any games that I want to play on it, I'll just reinstall in there. My saves are all fine. And they transferred over okay. It took like a half hour or something like that. And that was the extent of the issues that I had with it when I booted it up.
Wow. Much better than I did.
Yeah,
well, I what I did is I went ahead and I had a external hard drive hooked up to my PS4. I unhooked that and hooked it up to my PlayStation 5, and I think that was the cause of a lot of my problems.
Mm.
And so what happens is when you hook it up to your PlayStation 5, it recognizes all the games, but anything that's disc-based, which is the majority of my collection, I had to go through and put the disc back into the new system in order for it to recognize it and apply updates or whatever it needed to do. And I think in the process of doing that, I had a pretty hard crash happen. And to the point where I thought that my system was bricked. It went to like a total black screen. I couldn't figure out how to turn it off or reset it. I don't know. I don't remember what I ended up having to do to get it to come back on, but eventually it did. Besides that, I get errors constantly popping up about something wasn't able to download or upload to the server or something like that. And it's just a constant notification that comes up in the upper right-hand corner.
Right.
Do you get those a lot on yours?
No.
Yeah. Mine is just constantly notifying me to the point where it's just, you can't, I think you can put them to sleep during your play session, but if you turn it off and turn it back on, they're going to start up again, and they just constantly pop up. I finally got past all that. Finally started learning how to use the UI, and I think through some series of updates, the system has gotten better, and now I haven't had any issues since the first week or two. So it's been nice.
I'm kind of like, I'm still like getting used to the UI a little bit. I think they overcomplicated the, I mean, I guess I know why they did it. So they you do like fast switching between stuff, but like, I wish they would have just kept it to the same way where you hold down the power button on the controller and that brings up the, but instead they switched that. And I have no idea why they switched that. It just seemed like an odd thing to do to me.
Well, it's already ingrained in everybody that you push the button to bring up the menu, like the main menu.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I just don't really understand why they changed that. I mean, I did a whole video on how I got mine. And actually, well, I think we may have brought it up on the last episode. Buddy Lamont, viewer of the channel, had an extra one, offered to sell it to me at cost. So I was like, hell yeah. And I was able to just recently get another one through Walmart. So hopefully I don't have any issues. And that should be here like beginning of January, hopefully. But I got that for a friend of mine. I was going to, I've been trying to help her get one for a while. So I'm enjoying it so far. I haven't really had any issues as far as like, glitches or anything like that, other than like, when I'm playing Cyberpunk, obviously, but that's the game. It's actually run really well. I have had some, like on very rare occasions, where I'll get the thing where the fan gets really loud, but it lasts like 15 seconds and then it's done. It really doesn't bother me at all. And I don't think it's anywhere near as loud as like some of the people were saying. People were saying like, oh my gosh, the whole room was shaking and I thought something was coming from outside. And I'm like, what? Like, it's loud, but it's not like, it's just a loud fan. So I don't know. But it's
not like the PlayStation 4 Pro. Oh my gosh, that thing.
I never had a Pro, so I don't know.
I have mine hooked up in the other room, and my kids play it now since I have the PS5 in my room. And that thing, you walk in there and it's just so loud, and there's no way to avoid it.
Interesting. Yeah, I really haven't had too many issues. I'm really, really liking it though. Every time somebody comes over that I obviously it's super rare with COVID, but the people that I have had come over to try it who really wanted to give it a shot, the first thing I do is like, I'm like, all right, we got to pop on Astro's Playroom. You got to do the controller demo because you got to see what
that is the perfect one. Yeah.
So and everybody's always just like, oh my gosh. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
And so far, Astro's Game Room is the only one that shows off the capabilities, I think, of the controller and what it's capable of doing.
Yeah,
which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, it is, but it's like, it's early in the console cycle, so it's not like You know, we don't even have that many games that are released for it yet.
Yeah.
But B, I could have even done without the haptic feedback and stuff in the first place. It does. I don't really care about that stuff. It's the same.
Really?
I look at it like motion controls on like the Wii and the Switch and stuff. Like, cool, it's there. I don't care. I just want to be able to play the games on my controller on my TV. That's all I want. So as long as the games are good, I really couldn't care less about the other stuff. Speaking of which, side thing, 1-2 Switch went on sale finally for $30. 1-2 Switch, $30 on sale. How is that game even remotely more than like $5?
That should have always been a pack-in.
Yes, 100%. And now it should be a free download. I do not understand how it is. Like, I'm so glad I never paid full price for that thing, because if you did, I'm sorry. But you got ripped off.
I've never even played it. Yeah,
oh my God,
that's Nintendo so for you.
I do not understand that. Yeah. Anyway, that's not a PS5 game. Just motion controls made me think of it. So, but I mean, it's very cool, and I love showing it off, the haptic feedback and stuff. But it's not like I wouldn't tell people you have to get it for this. It's a really cool feature.
It's a cool new feature. It's one of those things that we haven't seen before, and I think that's what is most appealing to me about it. And it does add a layer of immersion to me, for me, especially with Astro's Playroom. When you're climbing, like they have these, each level has a element where you're using some sort of the feature from the controller, and each one of those to me it was fun. I enjoyed it. Like the rocket was my favorite, where you're pushing the buttons and the rockets are just they push back on you, make you feel like you're actually controlling a rocket. It's cool.
I liked the ice skating. I thought that was like the way it felt on the controller. I thought that was actually really, really cool. It's impressive. There's no doubt about it. It's totally impressive what they can do with it and everything like that. I don't need it. It's cool, but it's not like, if they don't have any games that come out for it, I will just be like, well, that was a waste to even do that. But I'm not going to be like, I don't hate the system any less because of it, as long as the games are still good. So I don't know.
I wish Demon's Souls would have incorporated some of that force pushback. I don't know what they call it. But basically what we're talking about, if you don't know already, when you push the L2 and R2 triggers, in Astro's Playroom at least, when you're doing specific things that would need a little bit of force to make happen, the trigger will actually push back against your finger, giving you a little bit more tension when you push it down, and it's really, really neat. But I mean, I could see that being useful in Demon's Souls when you like hit a wall or something with your sword, and then you like hit the wall, and I could see that being something cool. But who knows? Maybe in the future they'll do more with it. I don't see what
maybe they should have made it to where you can change the controller buttons and not made it to where you had to use R2 and L2.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That way some of us didn't have to retrain our minds to.
Well, now you play Demon's Souls like you're supposed to.
Like you're supposed to.
Dude, you're just as bad as those inverted control people.
Oh God, no! Don't even compare me to them. No, come on. No, because you play fighting games. That's how those are set up. You got your high kick and your low kick, your strong attack, your weak attack. And that's what you use your top of your X, B, and A, Y, and buttons for. It just felt weird to me. If I'm using a gun or a ranged weapon, yes, those triggers, because they're triggers. But if I'm doing like a punch or a kick or something, then swing of the sword, then I would prefer to use the other stuff. But
I hear you. I remember the first time I played the original Demon's Souls, I think I had a little bit of a learning curve, like you're talking about. I didn't know you could change the controls. Maybe that was introduced in Demon's Souls, but as far as I knew, they're Dark Souls, yes. So I just got used to them, I guess, and they work.
It doesn't really, matter really at this point because like I said, I am happy with it for like ranged attacks, and I have decided I'm going magic in all those games from now on. So
I don't think magic is as overpowered as it is in Demon's Souls, though, in the future games.
I'm not even talking about like the damage output and that kind of thing. I'm just talking about like being able to stay back and actually like move around. Because you really have to learn a lot more when you're up in front. And you know what? I could be totally wrong. And because I have been seeing a lot of people say online that Demon Souls, at least the new one, is the easiest out of all of them. So, and I did have like a relatively simple time with it. But I played Magic, which is also supposedly the easiest class. So I honestly don't know. But I really, really liked it. I played the hell out of it. And I would have been finished. Like I finished it quick, but I would have been finished quicker. But I got held up by a stupid freaking phantom that just annihilated me so many times, and I could not get past him. And he was right in the entrance of an area to where I couldn't summon anyone because he'd kill me before I even got to their little rune sign thing. So the only way for me to even do anything was to kill him. And so I just leveled up, and got my magic stronger, and eventually what ended up having to happen is I just ended up having to get a melee weapon and using that, and it took like 20 to 30 minutes for me to do it just by blocking and swinging when I had chances, and a lot of me going like like freaking out, like because I was on my last leg and had to heal really quick, and it was a nightmare. But eventually I got him, and I was super stoked. And then the rest of that whole area was just a joke after that. That's the one thing that I wasn't crazy about with the we're obviously going to be talking like Demon Souls quite a bit because it's like the only game that's out right now on PS5. The only like big one that we really even cared to play. But like I'm not crazy about the what's that system called with the light and dark?
World tendency.
World tendency. I'm not crazy about it because the same thing happened to you. Like you get to a point where you're supposed to take down one of these things that's shown up in your world because it's your tendency is too dark or something, and by the time you finally kill him, because you've had to level yourself up and get so much stronger to be able to take this guy down, the bosses and everything after that is just a big joke. Like it doesn't even matter anymore. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I didn't like that. I wish there was a way to turn it off. I think it's a cool feature, and I think if you want to like maybe like for some extra rare items or something like that, you turn it on, and you play it that way and whatnot. But I was just not a fan because it really just made the game really unbalanced in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. And that's not not like saying like it was too hard and that's why it was unbalanced. I mean like it was hard, and the only way for me to do it was to level up and get stronger, which made everything else laughably easy. That's what I mean by unbalanced.
Yeah. I think the world tendency is really convoluted and confusing. I mean, I didn't get it. I still don't.
There's no explanation for it.
Mm-hmm. No. And I mean, when you have pure dark tendency in a level, it just makes it harder. But there are items that you can discover there that you can't discover if you have pure white tendency. And pure white tendency, the levels are generally easier. But there's no explanation on how you can sway the tendency one way or the other. It's just, you got to get online and look at guides and stuff to figure it out. But even then, it didn't make a whole lot of sense, because when I was playing and I was having a hard time, I was in the same level or same world that you were in, but I was in the second part of that level or that world. And they say that if you kill the black phantoms, it'll help change it back to white tendency. Well, I went in there and killed them like several times, hoping to sway it a little bit. And I wouldn't die. I would kill them and then go back out to the Nexus, restart it, and do it again. And it didn't do anything. So I must have been doing something wrong. Or maybe you have to beat the level and beat the boss. But I also know beating the boss will help sway it back to.
Well, you said they were the skeletons, right?
Yeah.
Because those aren't like. Those are I don't mean to like make you like minimize what you did, but those aren't like special characters. They're just like enhanced versions of the little dudes that you see walking around. The guy that I fought is like an actual like special NPC that comes in there and drops like a special weapon for it. You kill those guys. And those are the ones that actually affect it. In addition to other players that invade your world, and that kind of thing, and that's what'll shift it back to the other side.
That makes sense. I know what you're talking about. I've encountered those guys once or twice in the game, but not like, yeah, the ones I'm talking about are regular enemies. They're just black and they
Yeah,
got
I
red
don't know
eyes.
that they really, if they do, it's a very minimal amount, but they don't do much.
Okay,
From
that
what I
makes sense.
understand, because I had a bunch of those to kill as well, but they were nothing compared to the freaking dude that I fought.
Well, I was actually pretty impressed with how easy a lot of the bosses were, because I remember this game being a lot harder than it was, and the only reason I got stuck this time was because I got stuck on that one area. Up to that point, I really hadn't had that hard of a time with it. And I beat the majority of the bosses in this game by myself. You know, I didn't summon anybody in or anything. Even the last
Yeah.
boss, I beat him by myself.
Oh, nice.
He was hard. He also made me pretty frustrated.
Yeah, I think I could have beaten him by myself, but I summoned somebody in, and I was just like, you know what, I'm ready to be done. Let's just do it.
I think I over leveled, and then when I tried to
Level 90,
summon
yeah,
people
I'd
in,
say so.
yeah, I couldn't find anybody who was near my level to be able to join me. But
Did you get the monk's hat? The big.
yeah,
one?
yeah,
Yes.
I only used it once.
Oh man, I used that for the rest of the game after I got
Did you?
it. Mm-hmm.
I love the way this game looks. If you want a showcase piece for showing off what the PlayStation 5 can accomplish graphically, Demon's Souls is a great game for that. It looks so good. I even went back and played the PS3 version, the original, and I am just amazed at how different it looks. It's essentially the same game. I mean, it plays exactly the same, and everything is exactly the same as I remember, but it looks so beautiful. Everything's
looks amazing.
so well fleshed out.
It's the best looking PS5 game I've played. So
same here. So have you played anything else besides Demon's Souls?
Actually, really quick, if anybody's curious, the guy that I'm talking about that gave me such a hard time was Satsuki. He drops Hiltless, which is the katana.
Okay.
A really sought after weapon. But yeah, if any of you have played it and you know Satsuki, he is a jerk face who annihilated me many times.
I'm looking him up because I don't even think I encountered him at all.
Yeah, he was the worst.
I did not. Huh.
You asked if I played any other PS5 games, other than getting the platinum on Astro's Playroom. Obviously, that was.
Let's talk about that. I mean, that's an amazing game. What a great launch title! It comes pre-installed on the system. It's more of a showcase piece to, first of all, celebrate the history of PlayStation. Yep. Second of all, show off the controller and what the controller is capable of. It's graphically, it's a pretty game, but I mean, you're not going to put it up there with any top tier.
It came with the system, and it's already better than 1-2 Switch.
That's right. I mean, in a world where most systems don't come with a launch title, this is a really impressive throw-in.
Absolutely.
They could have easily charged money for this, but they didn't. What do you think of all the callbacks to all the different video games references?
I thought it was great. I think having the showroom in there with all the hardware and stuff like from all the old consoles and everything was really neat. Going through the levels, finding everything. I really just thought that was a really neat feature, and it really showcases how iconic PlayStation is. I don't think a lot of people realize that. I think we take it for granted at times. But you see that whole room full of stuff in there, and you're like, oh my god, they really came out with a lot of stuff, and like it was pretty substantial. And so when you see it all laid out like that, you can run and interact with things and play around with stuff, which I thought was a nice touch. It's really neat. The only thing I really didn't mess around too much with was the time trials. I did one of them, and it took me so many tries just to do that one, and my time was horrendous. But it's there's a lot to do in that game, for a free game, I should say. It's not going to keep you occupied for months, but you play through, you get a feel for the controller, see what it can do and everything. it's definitely worth a play if and when you do get the console. And like Adrian said, it's free, so there's
Yeah,
no reason not to try it out.
I think it was really cool. So I don't want to give away too many spoilers here, but one of the first things that I noticed was the Buster Sword, Cloud's Buster Sword. And it was an element and part of the level. And it's just one of those things that's like, wow, like this is cool. They just threw this in here. And they make so many other references to PlayStation titles throughout the game. And it's fun to be able to find those and try to decipher what it is. And it's not, you're not really deciphering anything because it's these little robots acting out characters from specific games. And it's so funny. And then the final boss was so cool. Like I loved the final boss. I don't want to spoil it. I don't remember it being like something super iconic either, but the way that they do it is really cool.
It seemed like it was original to that game. I don't know if it was a reference to something I didn't catch it.
I think it almost has to be. It almost has to be. Like
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm
gonna have to look it up.
Didn't hit me. So I don't know.
What else? I've played a little bit of Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
I played a little as well.
How far did you get into it?
Not very far at all. So I was showing it to my friend who she's a big Assassin's Creed fan, and so she really wanted to see that. So I was like, all right, you know what? Let's fire it up. Let's see how it is. And the cool thing is, like, so she came over because we both had to work the night the Game Awards were on. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna stay off the internet and not doing any spoilers. I will wait till Saturday. Come over. You can try out the PS5 and we'll watch it then and stuff. So while we watch that, which I think is a really cool thing that they did, and they're doing with a few games, giving you the PS5 upgrade for free if you have the PS4 version.
Yep.
I think that is just so great. And so while that was downloading, because I had the PS4 version, the PS5 version was downloading. We watched the Game Awards and went through it and all that stuff. And after that, played for maybe an hour and a half, something like that. Enough to do a bunch of combat, a little bit of exploration, and definitely see like how beautiful the game is.
Yeah. I think I probably played for about an hour as well. And it's very Assassin's Creed. I mean, I don't think it's changed that much, considering I haven't played it in Assassin's Creed since Black Flag. I don't think it's changed that much other than visually. It looks stunning. I did like the storyline where it was going. It's pretty cinematic, and I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I got the PS4 version as well and got that PS5 upgrade. And I loaned my copy to my brother. He's a huge Assassin's Creed fan. I knew I wasn't going to be able to get to it anytime soon anyway. So,
do you know if you don't have the disc for the PS4 version, can you still play that digital PS5 version?
Oh, you can't. No, you still have to have the
disc. So you still have to have the disc. Okay. I figured that was the case because that'd be way too easy to, just hand out a bunch of free copies. So I don't know if you took advantage of the Black Friday sales, but I think I got Assassin's Creed for like $30 on Black Friday. I got it for Christmas.
40. Oh, okay.
Money's been so tight lately that unless I I bought that second PS5, but only because I know that I'm going to be getting paid back for it by somebody.
Right.
I just haven't really been spending a lot of money that I can't. It's times is tough at the moment.
It is. I agree, man. I couldn't help it though with the new system. I was like, I got to get some games for this thing. And when they're dropping the price that low on brand new games, it was hard to pass it up. I also picked up the new Watch Dogs game. I don't even think I put that into the system.
Got that as well. Yeah. Have you played either of the other two?
I played the original. I didn't get super far into it, but no, I haven't played the second one at all.
The thing I've learned about Ubisoft titles, and I got that for Christmas as well. So, but I have just come to tell myself, like, unless it's like next on the list and I have to play it, I will never pay full price for a Ubisoft game because within a year it'll be like $15-20, if that.
It's insane. It's
So.
insane. I mean, Immortals Phoenix Rising just came out, and that game is like $40 everywhere. I've been super tempted to get it, but yeah, I'm broke buying gifts for kids right now.
I wouldn't have the time to devote to a game like that anyway.
Yeah, same. I've decided I've finally been able to practice a little bit of restraint, just because I've got too many other things I need to be playing or want to play. I don't need to be adding to it right now. But there's the Sackboy game. I don't have that game. My brother-in-law has it, and I watched before I got my system. Actually, I should say before I got my system, because it came in late. He got his on launch day, and he brought it over the weekend so I could try it out. And so I got to play it before I got mine, and I loved it. And so I got to play a little bit of Sackboy. Sackboy is fun. It's not like Little Big World at all. It's more
a Little Big Planet.
3D
like Little Big World.
Oh, did I say Little Big World? Little Big Planet. You still collect little orbs, but it's more of a 3D platformer. It reminded me more of Tearaway, if you've ever played that. It's from the same studio.
I know what it is, though.
Yeah. It's from the same studio, so they have experience in that 3D platforming realm. And Tearaway is the fantastic game if you've never played it. One of the best 3D platformers I've played.
I want to try Sackboy. I think that's going to be obviously not a Ubisoft game, but I think that'll be one that's going to go down in price at some point. And I'll pick it up then because I'm not in any hurry to play it, but it does look really cool.
Same. Yeah. I know that one's going to drop. I think $30 is my price point on that one, and I'll pick it up. He also had the Spider-Man Miles Morales, and that game is incredible, dude. Like, I'm already a huge fan of the original Spider-Man game, the first one. This one it's more of the same, but it looked so good. And the very first area that I played, or that he showed me, you're basically riding on the back of Rhino, and you're going through this mall and going through buildings and stuff. And it was just so cool and cinematic, and just, it was awesome. I don't have that one yet either. But what else he showed me? He showed me.
I do have that one, but I've been afraid to pop it in because of the things I've heard.
What have you heard?
That's the one that apparently, if you put it into rest mode while you're in that game, that's what has caused a few bricks in some people.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I did not know that. That's good to know.
I don't even use rest mode because I'm terrified too, and I don't use it at all.
I've been using mine. I haven't had any issues yet.
Yeah, find that wood again, man.
I also tried the new Call of Duty, and that was pretty good. It's more Call of Duty. Looks beautiful.
Can I just say, I think it's really, really cool what they did with the PS Plus games that you get for free.
That is a great point.
Those are
go ahead.
Ridiculous lineup of titles that you get. Obviously you have to be a PS Plus member, but there's not too many people that I know who own PlayStation 4s.
So do you remember
5 now that aren't
most of the titles there? You can list some of those off.
Final Fantasy 15, Mortal Kombat 11, Call of Duty is on there. Gosh, what else?
I thought it was Mortal Kombat 10.
It might be. I don't know, one of those. God of War is on there. Like I said, there's freaking 20. I mean, I can pull up the list.
Persona 5 is on there.
Yep.
Days Gone. What else was on there? Days Gone was the one that interested me. I never played that, so I went ahead and downloaded that. Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy.
Bloodborne.
Yep, Bloodborne.
Infamous Second Son, Last Guardian, Last of Us Remastered, Monster Hunter World. Yeah, you're right. Mortal Kombat X, Ratchet and Clank, Resident Evil 7, Uncharted 4, Until Dawn, Battlefield 1, and and Detroit Become Human, Fallout 4. I mean, Batman Arkham Knight. I mean, yeah, these are all included.
It's insane. It's
Yeah.
insane. Is that a limited time deal, or do you know?
Say it again.
Is it limited time to get those?
If it is, they haven't said anything about it.
It's such a cool deal. Like, I mean, you are already, if you have PlayStation Plus, when you get a PlayStation 5, you are already getting a huge library of games, and that's just incredible. Yep. That was a huge selling point for me, honestly. I was already sold on getting it anyway, but I was even more blown away by that.
I mean, the ones on the list I own in physical form anyway, that I would normally play. But for anybody who like doesn't collect physical media, or B, doesn't have these games, it is a bonkers deal. Like it is really, really good. So these are not like, throwaway titles. These are AAA, like amazing games that are, in some cases a year or two old. Like, it's insane.
I started Days Gone because I never tried it before. I'm about, I don't know, hour and a half into it, and I'm really enjoying what I'm playing so far. I only stopped to go back and play Yakuza some more. But that's one that I want to go back and play. I like to go in and try them first, sure, and then see what I think and then decide whether or not I want to commit to it or not.
You like to play games when you get them? That's so weird.
I know, really. I wanted to ask you also about the controller. I know we talked about the haptic feedback, but in terms of design and form factor, how do you like it compared to the traditional controller?
I think it's better. I compare it to, like, so I'm going to use an MMO reference. Final Fantasy 14 was not a great game when it first launched. When it went down, they took it down and everything, and then they relaunched it. They basically copied WoW and took that style. And, while yes, they were copying the design of the game, and it's very, very similar, they added the Final Fantasy, obviously, world and twist and all that stuff. It made it so much better because they took the good ideas from this other thing and implemented it into their own ideas. That's exactly what PlayStation did here. It's very similar to an Xbox One controller. I think that's a wonderful thing. Xbox One controller is extremely comfortable. The only thing missing is the offset thumbsticks, which I do prefer on the Xbox One controller, but it's not like a deal breaker by any means. I think it's super comfortable. It fits nice in the hands. It's heavier than I thought it was going to be. That really surprised me, because when I first saw it, like, I thought it looked kind of cheap. Like, I was like, oh, it's got like Stormtrooper armor on the side. Is that stuff going to, like, crack and peel right off? Like, what the heck? It just didn't look right. But I mean, it's like heavy duty and feels really solid. I think the controller is great.
I love it too. I think it feels just like a traditional PlayStation controller, but it's beefier. It has a little bit more, I don't know, girth to it. It feels bigger, and it's got I don't know. It feels stronger. The only thing I think I don't really care for is I don't think the buttons, the X, square, triangle, circle buttons, they're all different levels of how tall they are. Like, the X button seems shorter than the circle button because the circle button is on that curve of the controller.
Yeah.
And it's not a huge deal. Like, I'm fine with it, but
unless you're thinking about it, you don't really notice it.
Yeah.
At least I haven't.
And
I know what you're talking about, though.
They're a little bit more mushy too. They're not as clicky as an old controller. But I mean, it doesn't affect anything really. It's just something that I was able to notice.
A nitpick, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I think the biggest thing that I love about the controller is just how big it is. It fits my hands better.
Right.
Because big
it's
hands
like
need
an
a big
Xbox controller.
Yeah, exactly. I do wish that they would have offset the analog sticks, though. I agree with you there. I do prefer that on the Xbox. It plays better for most games, like first-person shooters especially. That's the ideal controller.
I've been debating getting Dirt 5 because I really want to try a new racing game. But now that I'm getting an Xbox Series X, I am like, you know what? I can just fire up Forza Horizon again because that
Yeah.
game is spectacular, and I really want to try it on the new one. So
It looks so good too. It looks so good.
I love Forza Horizon so much. Oh my god, I love that game. Oh,
It's a fantastic racing game. What about the remote play? Have you tried that out yet?
No, I don't even care, honestly.
The remote play is a big
hate
deal to me.
mobile gaming.
I have an iPad that I downloaded the PlayStation app on, and you can connect a PlayStation 3 controller or 4 controller to your iPad via Bluetooth. So I have it set up in my room because, I mean, as I've said before, I prefer mobile gaming. It just fits my lifestyle easier. So at night when I'm ready to go to bed, and our Amy's ready to go to bed, typically when she goes to bed, she would like for me to be in the room with her, spending time with her. I guess because whatever, we're married, whatever. That's what you're supposed to do, I guess.
Whatever.
No. So I'll come in here and
Amy, I'm
I'll
on your side.
Up...
Just saying. She hears this.
I'm on her side too. I appreciate being able to sit next to her while still being able to play a game, and she's fine with that. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you going somewhere with that?
Nope.
So what I did is I hooked it up to this is another reason why I put my PlayStation to sleep, by the way, because I can wake it up with my iPad.
Sure.
And I've got it set up with my PS4 controller, and I'll sit there and play like Yakuza while I'm laying in bed, and it plays so well. There is a little bit of lag here and there, but not like it used to be. I remember back in the day trying to do remote play with my Vita and my PlayStation 4, and that just did not work. I mean, it was just super laggy.
Yeah.
But they've refined it quite a bit. It works really well. It's especially well for games like Yakuza or PS4 games, where I'm not too concerned about the graphics. Even though the graphics take a hit, it's not a bad hit. It's still playable. And I can sit there and enjoy the story while laying in bed, and I really love that. I will say, though, the Xbox Series X has a better remote play feature, at least in my experience. I played Destiny 2 remotely, same way, using a PS4 controller on the iPad, but played it on my Xbox. And I had next to no lag playing that game. It was incredible. I'm playing a first-person shooter, and that's why I did Destiny, because I figured that would be a good one to check out. I had no lag, and versus the little bit of lag I had on the PlayStation 5. So if you are into remote play and streaming in your own house, I think both consoles are a good option. And I appreciate that those are built into the consoles because, it just fits different people's lifestyles better. I haven't tried it outside my home yet, though.
I appreciate being able to record footage without having to plug in my Elgato on my PS5.
So nice. Is it still blocking out certain scenes though? Because the PlayStation 4 used to do that.
From what I've heard, yes. I have not run into that, but then again, I have pretty much just been recording exclusively gameplay segments with Cyberpunk. So the cutscenes that come through, I haven't really been recording those. So I don't know if they're getting blocked, but I have read online that yes, they still do in some cases, because that just has to do with like the rights and whoever owns the game, like putting that in there.
Is it recording directly to your system?
Yes. And then I can just stick in a USB drive, and I haven't even looked, to be honest with you.
Okay. I'm already having storage issues with mine. And all I have installed in it is Demon's Souls, Astro's Playroom, Assassin's Creed, and Watch Dogs. And I'm already getting and Destiny 2 is installed in there too. And I'm getting messages that I don't have space to update a game, so I have to go through and try to figure out what to download.
Yeah, I've only got like maybe 2 hours max of footage, because I will just record like a 20-minute segment here or there, and I've got like maybe 6 or 7 segments, something like that. I am not like once I offload it onto a USB drive, that'll be done. I'll just delete it off the thing. So however much space it is taking up, it won't be there long. So
Huh.
I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
It's just nice that it's there because I used to have to, at least with my PS4 and PS3 and whatnot, I would have to set up my laptop with my Elgato, and then the PS4 didn't even allow you to do it without changing some settings in there to record. It was just kind of annoying. And then if you change those settings, then you would have to remember to change them back. Otherwise, you couldn't watch Netflix. And like it was just annoying more than anything. So it's just nice to have this built-in feature.
Huh. That is nice to know. I always thought the PlayStation 4 had that capability built in, but I never tried it, so I don't know.
If it did, I didn't try it. You might be right. I don't know, but I never messed with it much. Because I needed to get the Elgato anyways. I'm still going to have to use it because older consoles are still going to require me to do that. But
right.
I used it with my PS4. So,
yeah, I wish there was more storage put in there, but I understand that would increase the cost. I don't know that they've opened it to where you can expand the storage yet. I think that's something that's coming.
I have no idea. I don't think they've done it yet because you can't even use PS5 games with external hard drives yet.
No, you can't. So you're constantly having to delete something to make room for something else.
Right.
In my case, like I'm going to have to delete Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed because we've got, don't tell Amy, but I got her Call of Duty for Christmas. And Owen's got Spider-Man for Christmas. So we're going to have to create room on the hard drive for those two games. It still sucks. Like I want to be able to expand the storage on that thing, but it's just not available right now.
Yeah.
I'm one. Okay. And the reason why, like, and some might argue, hey, you can download, you can just delete it and re-download it. Well, yeah, but unless you have an ISP who puts data limits on your freaking internet and makes it impossible. I had to upgrade to unlimited data in November when I got the new consoles, just so I could download games on my new consoles. And that sucked because adding unlimited data to my already expensive internet plan added an extra $50 a month to my
Oof.
It's killer, man. I can't stand it. Yeah, I mean, as an aside, I'm paying like $175 a month just for internet, which is absolutely insane, in my opinion. I'm used to the days of paying like $50 a month for internet. Those are gone. And that's what happens when you have cable companies creating a monopoly in your area. There's nothing you can do about it. It's unfortunate. Anyway, rants aside, what do you think about the form factor of the system itself? Yeah. I'm with you.
I think it's awkward and weird and like I don't know. I don't get it. I think somebody was trying to be cute, and to me it looks like they just like they came to him with terrible options and they just picked the one that was least horrendous because they were on a time crunch and were like, well, we have to pick one. We got to get this thing out soon. So let's go with the one that looks like a freaking vampire coat. Like I'm not a fan. And then do you have yours standing straight up or laying down?
Yeah, it's vertical.
Yep. So mine's horizontal, and I was worried at first because I was like, this thing just wobbles like crazy. And then I saw that you can take the stand, and you can only screw the stand in if it's vertical. You cannot screw the stand in if it's horizontal. So you have to have it in the exact right spot, otherwise it will still wobble. I am just like, why guys? Why are we
it's so dumb. If you need an instruction booklet in order to know how to attach a stand to your console, right, I think the design is bad.
Shouldn't even need a stand if you're laying it horizontal.
Or vertical.
Flat. Why is that so hard?
Yeah. When I remember taking it out of the box and finding the stand in there, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, you just attach this to here. I thought it was like a know-nothing easy deal to do, right? Well, it's not as straightforward as you may think, and I ended up having to try to find the instruction booklet. And then even with the instruction booklet, I still had a little bit of a hard time figuring out how the damn thing went on the console. Then there's a screw that you have to screw into it, and that screw is hidden inside the stand.
Yes.
You have to turn the stand, and it's like inside a little crevice. And dude, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. I'm not. The design of the console in terms of how it looks is not something that, like, it looks cool. I think it looks fine. It's not my favorite design, but it's unique for sure. What I don't like about it,
yes,
yeah, what I don't like about it is that it requires a stand, no matter whether you decide to do it vertical or horizontal, and also the damn thing is monstrous. It is so big. There is nobody has room on the entertainment center to hold this thing. Nobody does.
Mine actually fits perfectly right underneath my TV in this little cubby that's there, which is really nice.
Really,
the only thing I'm worried about is like maybe getting too hot, but it hasn't been an issue so far, so I think it's okay. But yeah, it fits really nicely in there. But it's way too big.
I think mine would fit too, but I'm worried about it overheating if I did that. So right now I have it sitting vertically on top of my entertainment center, and the top of the console damn near touches the bottom of my TV, and I can't stand it. Like, I thought about just putting it on the floor next to the entertainment center. I still might do that actually. But it's just, it's so big. Like, you hear about people talking about how big this thing is all the time. Words don't do it justice. You have to actually see how freaking massive. Big this thing is.
Yeah.
I don't even think my computer tower is as big as this thing. But I mean, if they were aiming to have a quieter system and better airflow, they've accomplished that. The damn thing is so quiet. I love it. It's going from the PS4 Pro to this PS5 is amazing. I can actually hear audio coming from my TV now and not just the fan blowing really loud.
Cool.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of like what I think about the system, I love it. I think it's a great system. It's getting far more playtime from me than my Xbox Series X. I love both systems, but I always
that's crazy. The Series X, all the Xbox games there are.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But I mean, I never intended the Series X to be the system that I played on. It's always been for my kids, and they play the heck out of it. But I do think the Xbox has a better design all around. And I think the Xbox does a lot of things better. And we could talk about that on the next show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
I mean, not to go into a full-on conversation about it, but point blank, the Xbox is honestly good for people like you and me right now who like retro gaming and don't want to have to like put up old consoles. There is literally no reason to get one if you have a good PC at the moment.
I would almost argue the same for the PlayStation 5, though. I mean, unless you're a diehard Demon's Souls fan.
No, but even if the Xbox had games out, if you had a high-powered PC, you're still going to be able to play those games on the PC. So it won't even matter. With the PlayStation, you can't do that. They're going to be exclusive to the console. That's true. If you want to play those games, you have to get a PlayStation. You want to play those exclusive Xbox games, you're going to be able to play them on PC anyways. So they're really, unless you just want to have that one-stop shop for your retro gaming consoles, your retro Xboxes, I should say, there's really no point to getting that new one. So, but again, like you said, our next episode is going to be about the Xbox Series X and S. So we'll talk more about it then. But yeah.
I do think, though, if you can't get one right now, you're not missing much. Unless you're a Souls fan like myself, you're not missing much.
Yep.
Hold off. There will be
if you are a Souls fan, you are missing a lot because that game is great.
It is a great game. I'm so excited I got to play through that game, and I still love it.
And right now is the perfect time to be playing it too, because there's so many people who are playing it as well. And so you can team up really, really easily with other people, which I thought was really fun.
Unless you over level yourself like I did, and
fair enough,
have the problem.
But
unless your buddy who
subsequent playthroughs,
and unless your buddy who was playing with you decides to beat the game in a day, and leave you in the dust.
I was giving you time to turn on Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles.
Oh.
So.
You're right. You're right. Well played,
2.
sir. Well played. I haven't even played it. I haven't even played it since then. It's funny. My family plays it all the time, and I never play it with them. I'm a bad dad.
Oh man. Oh well. Oh,
One of
you
those
know
things.
what? No, I did. There was another game that I played, and I completely forgot. I can't believe I forgot about it. The Banner Saga. I played it on the Switch. I popped in the first game because I thought it would be super short, and I knew I was getting my PlayStation 5 soon, and I was like, you know what? I've got like 4 days before I get my PlayStation 5. I ended up playing the entire trilogy in those 4 days because I loved it so much. That trilogy is spectacular. Banner Saga, cannot recommend it enough. If you can go out and get the trilogy, especially Switch was a great way to play it. Unbelievable game. Unbelievable series. I absolutely adored it. It was fantastic.
What kind of game is that?
Tactical role playing with decisions that like affect the outcome of the story. Characters, who lives, who dies, where you end up, that kind of thing. And it's really, really fun, and just the art. I think you would really dig the art style too. But it's just such a cool game and a great experience. I cannot recommend it enough. I had a blast.
Well, I love tactical RPGs. You're talking about like Final Fantasy Tactics style on a grid.
Correct. Yes.
Oh, okay. Wow, I never knew that. I
With
need to check that
Viking aesthetic.
Huh. I love games like that. I'm playing through not playing through. I had been playing the Fire Emblem game, the NES one that was just released on the Switch. Mm-hmm. That is a great game too. It's archaic compared to how they are now, but the system and the way the game plays is still identical, and it's fun. I love those.
I definitely want to check it out.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else that we need to touch on with that on the PS5?
Not that I can think of. I mean, it's it's a new system. We kind of just talked about our experiences with it, and I'd be curious to like get some comments on the channel and stuff. Down below. That's right. What I just pointed at my crotch to anybody who I didn't mean to, but that's how it looks on camera. So I apologize. Think of it as like the camera is down here and the comment section is down here, where my crotch is in real. I'm going to stop this bit. I'm going to stop it right now.
You're going too far, man.
It's just getting weirder. I'm curious if anybody, like, what experiences other people have had with it, because obviously you and I had different experiences regarding the glitches and that kind of thing when we first fired it up. I'm just wondering how other people have been faring with that new console. And if you've been playing any other games, like I'm really curious because it looks so cool. Godfall, I really, really am curious.
Oh shit! I have Godfall too.
That'll be like a $5 game in a year, though. I'm pretty positive. That's gonna go the way of like Anthem, I think. Not because it's a bad game, but because there's just people are saying it's super repetitive and just gets old really quick.
Yes, that's my sentiments exactly. Like, just to show you, like the reason I didn't even bring it up is because it's such a forgettable experience.
Yeah.
I didn't buy that game.
The visuals though look so amazing.
Yes and no.
The trailers they do. Which I guess is by design.
My brother-in-law gave me that game, and I don't know, maybe 2 hours into it, and the combat is fun. The graphics are pretty, but they're the same. Like nothing has changed. What you see in the trailer and in screenshots is all I've been experiencing, and it's not really doing it for me at all, really. Also having big beefy characters with armor and no faces kind of helps our heart, makes it hard for me to connect with them in any way and connect with what the storyline is. I don't know. That's a throwaway title for sure. I think that one's going to be on the cheap before long.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that answers that. So I guess nobody needs to leave any comments then. It's fine. It's okay. Adrian's got you covered.
I got it.
I would like to hear like what just other people's experiences and stuff. Like same, you know, even if it's not necessarily a PS5 game, but if you've been playing Cyberpunk on the PS5 like I have, you know, have you had the patience to put 40 hours into it like I have? I'm just your experience as a whole with the PS5, you know, because it is so new. I think the Wii U is the only console that I have had right at launch. And back then I didn't have like a YouTube channel. I wasn't really talking to too many people. And quite frankly, there were a lot of games out for it when it first launched. You know, not a lot, but there was more than now. There was a lot to do, and but I only had like one or two people that I knew that had it, and we didn't even really talk that much. So it wasn't like anything super cool. So I'd love to like get some discussion going and you know, hear what people have to say about this, that have experienced it, that have been lucky enough to experience it, I should say, because they're still not easy to find at the moment. They will be eventually. And like Adrian said, if you can't get one right now, I would not worry about it too much, because there really isn't like, it's not a must have at this point. I joked earlier about like, oh man, if you're a Dark Souls fan, it's a must have to get Demon Souls. It's really not. I mean, yes, eventually you're going to definitely want to try it and want to play it. But if you basically just don't beat yourself up if you can't get one right now, because it's not the end of the world and you will get one at some point. And it's not like, you know, you're not missing the most unbelievable leap in technology that we've ever had that must be experienced by all as soon as possible. No, it's not like that at all. So it's cool. It's fun, having a good time with it. And I'm just curious as to what other people's experiences are.
I will say the ray tracing, if you're familiar with that is a really cool feature. In terms of graphically, that's like the biggest thing. Also the higher frame rates, it's smoother. It's so smooth. Gameplay is so smooth, especially in Demon Souls. I think that's the biggest thing that I noticed was how smooth the animations were and everything. So yeah, it definitely feels like a step up to me. But I don't know like how much other people, you know, who aren't huge into gaming might notice that. I will say though, Amy noticed, and she never notices. Like when I put in the PS5 and started playing it for the first time, she immediately took notice at how much better it looked and how much better smoother it looked and everything. And
yeah,
she definitely noticed that. So
cool.
Yeah, non-gamer's perspective, I guess.
All right, heck yeah. That's all I got though.
Yeah, me too. That was fun. I've been wanting to talk about it since I got it, and really, haven't been able to. So,
like we said, next episode we're gonna talk about the Xbox and you know, our experience with that. I've got quite a bit to say on that. I don't even have the console yet. But I am excited to get it, because like I said, for people like Adrian and myself who still like retro games, still like to go back and play those older games, having this, it's the biggest thing for me, especially that the PS5 is missing. It's that full backwards compatibility. Being able to just put any, you know, generation of game into it and have it work. That's just an unbelievable feature. I would pay money if PS5 would come out with like an adapter or something that would allow you to do that.
Right.
It just sucks that they don't have that. So definitely looking forward to that with the Xbox Series X. And of course, first game I'm going to play is, you know, Forza Horizon.
Yeah.
God, I love that game so much. It's so good. It's so good.
Well, and you have just a launch Xbox, right? Xbox One.
I do. Yes.
Yeah, you're going to notice.
I didn't upgrade to the Pro or the whatever the Xbox weird name is on the other one, Xbox One X.
I'm curious. Like, that'll be a good conversation, especially with Forza. And when you do get it, text me. Let me know. I'll jump on Forza with you. I think I'm right in that same area of the game, or I don't even know that it matters where you are in that game.
Does it come with a headset?
Just go anywhere. No, it doesn't. But it's got the headphone jack at the bottom of the controller. You can just hook up any headphones to it.
So
and I
the
think
old one will still probably work.
Yeah, I think Bluetooth may work with it as well.
I'm not worried about it then.
Yeah.
Cool.
The controller's basically the same controller that you get on the Xbox One. So
I would just use my Xbox One controller again still, because it's my personalized one with my name on it.
Really? You're gonna have to show that off on our next episode then.
Have I not shown you that before? I thought I have. Oh, okay. Yeah, you can go to their website and design those, right?
I did know that.
Okay, yeah.
I haven't done it yet.
When they first came out with that, it was at E3 in 2016 when I went, and so they had a big booth set up where you could do that, and then you email the design to yourself, and then I went home and I ordered it that way. So, the sentimental thing that knowing I designed it at E3 was kind of neat.
Yeah.
So
that was very cool.
Yeah.
All right. I'm excited to talk about it.
Sure. You got anything to plug?
No, I don't. Nothing new. Well, actually, I do want to plug something. If you want to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, I've been posting quite a bit of artwork here lately. I've been getting into it. Stuff. Yeah. So, I mean, after we did the Xenogears episode, I'm still pretty stoked about the game. I really enjoyed my experience with it. I know the episode I sounded a little bit critical, but I was critical for a reason, because I love the game so much and I wish it could be improved in certain ways. It inspired me. And one of the things that I loved about that game was the mech designs, the gear designs. So I went in and started doing my illustration style. I do vector illustrations in Illustrator. And I started looking at these different gears and trying to just create my own artwork representing the styles of those gears, just their heads, their designs. I've gotten through 6 of them so far, I think. And I still have like 2 gears left, and then I'm going to do probably some other elements from the game as well if I don't move on to other games. But
did you ever go check out that Perfect Works translation online?
I did, yeah. I looked through. I didn't flip through the whole thing, but I did do some skimming through.
But the artwork in it is really, really neat, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's really great. In fact, a lot of the drawings that I pulled came from that book.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So yeah. So if you're into that and want to look at some of my artwork, I'm posting it on Instagram and on Twitter. Instagram might be the better place to find it. It's just better suited for images. But that is at Birdazoid on both of those. And give me a follow. I plan to be more active there. I've decided that for me, it's easier in my limited time to be able to just create more artwork and upload it that way versus something that's more involved, like video editing or something like that.
Sure.
One of these days when I have time to be able to do that, I would love to get back into it. But for now, I'm just going to do what I'm good at, and that's making artwork. And follow me there.
As long as you got an outlet and you're feeling like it could be videos, it could be artwork, and this is my advice to anybody. No matter what it is, if you feel like being creative in any sort of way, just do it. Just find a way to just put it out there and just do it. Even if you don't want to put it out there necessarily, like if you're like Adrian, you want to, create art, that kind of thing. He's putting it on his Instagram and Twitter and everything like that. Even if you don't want to show anybody, but you want to draw, you want to, create vector artwork like he does, anything like that, do it. It helps. It's so therapeutic is probably a good word for it, because it really just it's like me when I make videos and stuff like that. When you can if you go watch any of my videos on my channel, you can just tell I just start talking and I don't shut up, because I'm my mind is just finally calm and at peace, and there's so many thoughts swirling around in my head that I want to talk about, and especially right now, I guess that's a good lead into mine. I have been doing my PS4 collection on my channel, and it's a 6-part video. So after this episode of Pixel Perspective airs, part 6 will be next week, and that'll be finally all of them will be out. And after that, because it's been so long since I've recorded, because I did all of it weeks ago, I have a whole list of things that I want to talk about that I have ready and planned to record and throw up on the channel. One of the first of which will be the list of 20 games that I plan on beating for 2021.
Ooh.
And again, just a self-indulgent thing. Like I said, it's a way for you to be creative. Just give yourself that out just have fun with it and everything like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if necessarily people care, but like I'm actually like genuinely surprised at that I do get responses about like, ooh, so can you give me a hint? Like what's on the list? Because I literally have people sending me messages asking me what games are going to be on my list for next
It's
year.
exciting.
Like,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, what do you care what I play? You know, so, but I think that's really, really neat. And so like, I get a kick out of putting out that video and you know, just again, just give yourself that creative outlet. There's no better feeling in the world than to know you've just made something. And, you know, especially if you do decide to put it out there and you find out other people are enjoying it, just makes it so much better. So I highly urge anybody to do so, you know, and quite frankly, if anybody has any questions, like you want to start a YouTube channel, a podcast, anything like that, and you're curious about how to get started, what an easy way to get started is, I'm by no means an expert, but by all means, and I sure I can speak for Adrian, same thing. You know, we both have a little bit of experience now. Like, if you have any questions and you just want to know how you can get started doing something like that, reach out to us. That's frankly how Adrian and I started talking, was because we, you know, had that common thing where he wanted to start a podcast. We talked a few times before on a stream that I did. And then, you know, he was like, hey, I want to start a podcast. You got any advice? And then we talked and we became buddies. So it's like, by all means, man, reach out and just do whatever makes you happy to get that creativity out there. Because quite frankly, the world could use more of it, especially right now. And again, as you can see, I ramble about stuff that I love and I'm passionate about. And it makes me feel really good.
To add to that though, don't try to get stuck on gaining popularity or views or followers or whatever that. I mean, dude, I did the Jabcast for what, 3 years just about, and it never blew up. It never blew up, and I didn't really care that it didn't blow up. I was doing something that I loved and I enjoyed it. So, I mean, if you get fixated on followers and not gaining enough following, and that you're just sending your stuff out there into the void and nobody's looking at it, you know, it's easy to get yourself down when you start thinking about that. But then you got to look back and remember, why am I doing this to begin with? I'm doing it because it's fun. I am doing it because I enjoy it. I do it because it's a hobby that I want to share. And whether it's just a couple people or you know, hundreds or thousands of people, it doesn't matter. You know, don't lose the focus, which is why you're doing it because you love it.
Yeah.
So
especially in cases like me, growing up not having a lot of people to talk to about this stuff, putting myself out there and meeting people through this medium has been one of the best decisions I could have made. Just because I've met so many wonderful people just by doing this, and it's been a dream come true, seriously. So don't hold yourself back from putting yourself out there, is what I'm trying to say. So other than that, like I said, I got a bunch of videos coming through the pipe, and
excited.
I'll probably be doing my top 5 of 2020 soon thereafter as well. And I got videos on like one where I talk about how I feel about ROMs. And I know that conversation is kind of older, but I was just thinking about it again recently, and I was like, I don't know if I made a video on it, so I want to. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff that I'm excited to talk about.
That's exciting, dude. I want to hear your thoughts on ROMs. I want to hear your thoughts on what games you chose. You were saying you didn't know like why people are excited about that. I'm excited because, first of all, I want to see what games you choose. That's always like the mystery behind it is fun, but also like hearing what your experiences were with those games, especially if they're games that I've already played and you haven't. So
this one has quite a few like big ones that people like were like, you haven't played that? Like there might be a little Resident Evil action on there. I'm just saying.
Dropping that ball.
But yeah, I mean, I've never played it before. So I've got that. I've got like 1 or 2 games that have been on my backlog forever that I've tried several times to finish and just couldn't get through, that I'm going to do my damnedest to get through it this time. So it was actually really fun putting together this list, and knowing that I'm going to play a bunch of them and when it does come out, I'm going to need to get with you, because there is a game on there that I think would be fun for you and I to potentially talk about as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Once I release a list, I'll let you know.
Sounds good. All right.
Well, no special treatment.
I guess
you don't get to hear anything in advance. I don't care if you're on a podcast with me. You don't get nothing. You got to wait like everybody else.
Well, damn it. I was going to try to hit you up after the recording.
I'll probably tell you anyway. It's fine. Yeah.
Well, JJ, you want to close this out?
Sure. Happy New Year, everybody, by the way.
That's right.
You know, it is when you're seeing this, it's the new year, but when we're recording this, is not. So I hope where you are in time is better than where we are currently in time. So
I agree. I agree.
With that in mind, thank you so much for watching. This has been the Pixel Perspective Podcast. My name is JJ.
I'm Adrian.
And as always, keep on gaming.